Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and take your announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. We're present ready, Your Honor.
Jerry Morales for responding Father J. Tanner Carnes, Your Honor. He is not present. I believe he may be getting out of the ISF facility today, but I don't see him on.
Stacy Grant on behalf of the mother, Tesla Barsavage, and I believe she's present, Judge.
Casey Zabala on behalf of Evelyn.
Okay. How many witnesses do we have today?
I'll probably have two, Your Honor, one or two. And Your Honor, before we get started, we did mediate this case and have an agreement. So we will just be admitting the MSA in and proving that up.
Okay, that was my understanding. So great. And who's your first witness?
Jaleesa Bird, Your Honor.
All right, and who else are you thinking about calling?
I don't know that I'll need to, but I may call Tracy Carnes.
All right, let's go ahead and swear both in. If you will both unmute and raise your right hands for me. All right, you may proceed. So Ms. Carnes, you can go ahead and mute it again if you want. Unless, okay.
If I can figure out how to do that.
I can do it for you. I can do it for
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, because I can't find it.
That's fine. Okay, you may proceed.
And the parties mediated this case, is that correct?
That's correct.
And we're able to come to an agreement with all parties.
Yes, we were.
Did you receive the exhibits I sent out?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can you pull up exhibit number 1? Okay. And can you tell me what exhibit number 1 is?
It is a mediated settlement agreement.
Okay. And this is a accurate copy of the mediated settlement agreement that was agreed to that day and signed by all parties.
Yes.
And it was filed with the court as of yesterday.
Yes, it was.
Okay. And Your Honor, I'd ask to admit exhibit number 1 into evidence as the mediated settlement agreement.
Any objection?
No objection.
No objection.
All right, petitioner's exhibit 1 will be admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Bird, at the mediation, parties agreed to the paternal grandparents who are a placement for the child to be permanent managing conservators. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And for the mother and father to be possessory conservators.
Yes.
As to visitations with the child, the parents possessory conservators shall have the right to see the child a minimum of 4 hours each month.
Yes.
And all visitations of the child shall be supervised by one or both of the paternal grandparents.
Yes.
Okay. Also agreed to that each parent would pay the permanent managing conservators $200 a month in child support beginning on February 1st of 2025.
Yes.
And that in addition to that, each parent would pay the paternal grandparents $50 a month beginning February 1st of 2025 for medical.
Yes.
And for the department to be dismissed out. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And all of that would go into effect as of the day of the court's ruling.
Yes.
Okay. Did you receive also what I put sent out exhibit number 2?
Yes, I did.
And can you tell me what exhibit number 2 is?
It is the notification of intent to become a permanent managing conservator.
And was this signed by the paternal grandparents?
Yes, it was.
And you sent this to them and went over it with them and discussed it with them?
Yes, I did.
And was this filed with the court on November 7th of 2024?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, I'd ask to admit exhibit number 2, the notification of intent to become managing conservator.
No objection.
No objection.
Okay, petitioner's exhibit 2 will be admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Ms. Bird, during the mediation, you were able to call paternal grandmother, is that correct?
That's correct.
And so she was involved in the discussions and was in agreement to this mediated settlement agreement. Even though she's not a party and hasn't signed, she agreed to this type of agreement.
Yes, she did.
And today, are you asking the court to follow the mediated settlement agreement, making paternal grandparents, permanent managing conservator, parents, possessory, to follow the guidelines of child support, medical support, and visitations laid out,
Yes, I am.
and for the department to be dismissed out of the case.
Yes,
And do you believe that is in the best interest of the child?
I do. I do.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, Ms. Grant, any questions?
Do you consider this to be in the best interest of the children?
Yes, I do.
I apologize, just a child. Pass the witness.
And Mr. Morales?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, and Ms. Zavala?
No questions.
Okay. Mr. Trout, anything further of this witness?
Sorry, I hit the mute again. Nothing further of this witness, Your Honor.
All right, any further witnesses from the department?
I can call Tracy Carnes, Your Honor, but we put in the intent to become, so I don't know that I need to call her today.
Okay.
She and paternal grandfather, I believe, are both present in this hearing, so.
Okay, let me just ask Ms. Carnes. I'll send you a little prompt to unmute. Hang on.
Yes.
Okay, is this what you and your husband have agreed to do?
Yes, it is.
Okay, very good. Well, we appreciate what you're doing and thank you very much for all you've done for Evelyn and I hope things go really well in the future.
Thank you.
Okay, then Mr. Trout, does the department rest?
Department arrest, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Grant, anything today?
No, Your Honor, this is my and my client's agreement, and we have signed the mediated settlement agreement.
All right, Mr. Morales?
Similarly, Your Honor, J. Tanner Carnes authorized me to sign this on his behalf. I have no witnesses. I'd rest and close.
Okay, and Ms. Zavala?
No witnesses. I rest and close.
All right, Ms. Zavala, your recommendation?
I absolutely believe that this agreement and the order that will follow will be in Evelyn's best interest. And I think she's very well taken care of there.
Okay. I guess I should mark that she was present for the hearing today.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to show she was present. Okay, then. It sounds like everybody believes this is in the best interest of the child. I will name Tracy and J.W. Carnes as the permanent managing conservator of the child. I will name Tesla Barsavage and Tanner Carnes as possessory conservators. I'll order child support and medical support as set forth in the mediated settlement agreement. I'll order the visitation as set forth in the mediated settlement agreement and adopt any other provisions that are in there. Dismiss the department at this time and all attorneys from the case. All right. Best of luck to everybody. I appreciate you all getting together and working it out.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all very much. We're here Have today a good on a rest of your day
request
for
Thank you.
court services. Or in the vernacular, in order to participate. Okay, we are conducting this through Zoom. We are live streaming and Ms. Goodman is making our record this morning. Okay, I'll take announcements.
Good morning, Judge. Eugene Graff and Becky Amos on behalf of the department, present and ready to proceed.
Natalie Archer for the mother, Jessica Rutledge, and we're ready to proceed.
Yeah, I'm Tate Eldridge on behalf of the father. His name's Zach Rutledge, and we're both present, ready to proceed as well.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the child.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Groff.
Your Honor, I guess I'll defer to counsel. Mr. Eldridge and I did have a conversation before the hearing about a possible settlement. And so
Do attorneys need a breakout room?
probably so, just to iron out any last minute details that there may be, or to confirm that we're on board.
Okay, Ms. Archer, is that the track you all are on?
If that is what we're looking at, then I would want a breakout room with my client first.
Do you want to talk to the lawyers first?
Sure.
Okay, let me let lawyers talk real quick, and then we'll, then I'll move you all around as you need me to.
don't know. I don't know if we can stick any closer. Okay.
So I guess our lawyers are just talking.
From what I understand, they're all just talking, trying to get on track with everybody. And then they'll join back, and then if they need another break to see what's going on, then
lawyers talking to the client.
all the lawyers are talking to see what's going as far as to reach a settlement.
Well, his lawyer wants to go ahead and like do the hair follicle, but my lawyer's saying to fight it because we've already done a drug test. And like she said, wanted to do the hair follicle, and then they say, "Oh, you
Okay, ladies, you guys probably don't need to be discussing all this stuff without your attorneys. Just
Okay.
as a caution. Okay. You're welcome to visit, but just not about the case.
Okay.
Okay. I thought we were in a room alone.
Hey, Zach, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So when the judge comes on, don't smoke in front of her, okay, please? I don't
Yes,
care.
sir.
Just don't do it because this is supposed to be like we're in a courtroom kind of thing. So
Right.
I don't want to piss her off.
Yeah, it's out.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, Mr. Ruff.
Thank you, Your Honor. After discussing with counsel, I think we have an agreement. There's a question about visitation that we would want to just clarify for the record. But in terms of the agreement, what I understand is the parents have been addressing relationship issues through some counseling programs online. The department is willing to give them credit for that, and it would satisfy the requested mental health services, but conditioned on they would want releases signed so they can verify that they're addressing those goals and it meets satisfaction and that the counseling is appropriate. But the department, assuming that they sign those releases and the department is satisfied that they meet those objectives, they're not going to ask the parents to reinvent that wheel. Also, the parents are, I understand, willing to do drug testing and do the requested evaluation. And so we certainly appreciate and are on board with that. We agree with that. So with that, I think the only question is, it sounds like both parents would like to maintain for the time being the current informal PCSP placement with relative/fictive can. Department has no objection to that. There's just a question about visitation and that we need to just clarify for the record because I didn't have an answer on that. So I believe that's where we are right now, and I can defer to counsel.
Okay, so let me just for make sure I'm understanding. All right. So Zina is currently living with whom?
With me, Your Honor. I am the ex-wife. I have
Okay.
2 other children with Zach.
Okay. All right. Okay. And mom and dad are both agreeable for Zina to continue to live there for the time being, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure I've got all the parties straight. Okay. And what is the visitation question?
Well, I guess the parents, until we sort it out today, have not been exercising visitation, not through any other reason. They just wanted to make sure that everything was ironed out, but they would like to have contact. I don't know what's being recommended or requested. I had indicated to the parents' attorneys, department had not been seeking removal at the time we filed this case, but certainly had no objection to the current placement. So I will defer to Ms. Jones and Ms. Amos in terms of what their recommendations might be, and certainly to Ms. Zavala, who's got a recommendation. I think the primary concern is to get some drug testing out of the way to just rule out fentanyl. But other than that, no objection to whatever visitation they would like to have that's reasonable under the circumstances. But I have to defer to my client as to what their recommendations would be.
Okay. Let's just go straight to the top. Ms. Jones?
We would ask for visitation to be supervised. And I was out of the office when the PCSP was implemented. I don't know if Ms. Shayla has been approved to supervise the parents, but we would want the contact supervised because of the drug concerns and the relationship issues between the parents.
Yeah, we can do visitations separately. Obviously, parents don't have to be together to do the visits. Which, so I guess Ms. Rutledge, the question we kick back to you is, are you willing to supervise each of them to have time with the child? I mean, because this can take up a significant amount of your time.
Yes, ma'am.
So is that a problem?
No, that wouldn't be a problem at all.
Okay. I mean, I'm assuming, Mr. Rutledge is going to spend time with his other children anyway. He can see them, so he can see all the kids at the same time, or
Yes, ma'am.
okay. All
That's
right.
perfectly fine.
All right. And you're fine with with Jessica doing that as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Ms. Jones, do you all have, do you want them just to sort of work that out as how that best works with
everyone's schedule?
With placement schedule? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the best thing. And
Okay.
then we can notify our CPS or FPSSs what the plan is.
Okay. So Miss Shyla Rutledge, then, kind of you can communicate with each of them about what works, what works with your schedule. I want to just caution parents, be respectful of the fact that she's got a life and other things to do, and y'all don't make this too difficult for her, or we don't want it to work a hardship on her.
Judge, if I can, we have
Yes, sir.
a fantastic working relationship. And like we've been paying voluntary child support. We're helping out as best we can. We understand that this is a huge undertaking on their part. And again, we have a fantastic working relationship. So, we call, hey, is it cool if we come see the kids? Is it convenient? And everything has worked out fantastically so far. And I don't see it being an issue in the future.
Okay. I'm thrilled to hear that. And if y'all can continue to, help support, your child in that home, that's obviously, very welcome. So
It's only right, in my opinion.
yeah, it is. You're right. You're exactly right. So I'm not going to court order anything. That's not what we do in these kind of cases. So what do we need to do about drug testing? How quickly do we want to try to get that done?
We can head that way as soon as we leave here. If that's the need be, as soon as we hang up here, we can head straight over there.
It's going to take a little while to get the paperwork over there because one of them has to get approved. So it might be, can we say tomorrow by 4?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's just do that and you all wait and go tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay then. Any other issues, Mr. Groff, we need to try to iron out?
I don't think so. We'll need to just revise our proposed order and get that out to the attorneys. But I appreciate the work of the parents and the clients and the attorneys to get this worked out.
Okay. All sounds good to me. So Ms. Archer, is this you and your client's agreement?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And Mr. Eldridge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And Ms. Zavala, you believe this is in the best interest of Zina?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, then. I appreciate very, very much y'all working this out. Thank you for cooperating. These folks are really here to just help. I have so many parents that come in and view all of us as the enemy, and that's just not what we are. We just want to try to help you guys put the pieces back together so that, that this doesn't happen again, and that everybody moves forward and gets past it. Okay, then I will order the services as requested, and I will accept, of course, the online counseling, couples counseling, as long as that seems to meet the criteria, and parents will sign those appropriate releases. The object is not to give you all busy work. We want what you're doing to be meaningful and in the best, in the best possible way. So, I will see you all back though for a compliance hearing on February 6th of 2025, and that'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. And your attorneys will tell you exactly when you need to log in. It may not be right at 9. I just start my cases at 9, so you'll be somewhere in the morning docket.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I appreciate y'all and best of luck to you.
All right. Thanks, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
y'all. Here today for our compliance hearing in the case. We're conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming and I'm recording to the Zoom cloud. So if anybody needs a copy of that, let us know. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Morning, Judge Gene Graff and Ms. Katrina Sledge on behalf of the department, present and ready to proceed.
Natalie Archer for the mother, Jessica Rutledge, and we're both here and ready to proceed.
Brooks Barfield for Zachary Rutledge. We are both here ready to proceed as well.
Stacy Zabala on behalf of Zyna.
Thank y'all. Okay, who's gonna give us an update this morning?
Would be Ms. Sledge.
Okay. Morning, Miss Sledge.
Good morning. So everything is going pretty well. So they got started pretty quickly. There was some delay in services with Zach and Jessica just because of the holidays. We got this right around the Christmas time. But once the holidays finished, they kind of got going really fast. So Jessica, they did OSAR assessment, which is the alcohol and drug assessment. Zach was screened to do outpatient Padre, which is the drug risk education program. And then Jessica actually checked into Centacor. She did relapse prior to that check-in the weekend before. So she checked into Centacor. And that was December 10th. She did detox December 10th through December 13th. And then she ended up getting COVID. And so she had to, they put her out for, until December 31st through January 27th. So she finished inpatient on January 27th with Centacor. She did 10 hours of group, 10 hours of psycho classes, psychoeducation classes, and she is now transitioning into the Centacor intensive outpatient program, where she will be doing classes 3 hour treatment 3 hours 3 days a week. I'm sorry, and then also doing the NA AA classes. There are requirements for that, and then screening. Drug testing. She is still going to work the rest of the services that we have outlined in the service plan, which include individual counseling with Recovery. She will do the domestic violence assessment through family support services, and then parenting through the HOPES program. I myself just recently, this is my first day back from COVID, so I haven't been able to follow up for this month as far as if she's got started in that, because she just got released on the 27th. But at the end of last month, I hadn't got any feedback that she had enrolled in classes. She is scheduled to start the Centacor outpatient program on February 7th. So tomorrow's her intake date for that. She did complete drug testing for me on January 27th. That test came back positive for marijuana, and it also came back for alrazepam, but she does have a prescription for those. I need to verify those prescriptions, and I will do that today because today's my first day back. Zach is doing really well. He is doing individual counseling with Recovery, and he is also doing the domestic violence curriculum through Recovery with Melissa Lawson and doing great. He is involved in the 365 DAD program with Jeff Parsons and is doing amazing. He has completed drug testing for the department in January. He was sick, and so he wasn't able to complete in January, but he did complete testing for me this month so far, and he was negative for any substances. And he has been negative since we've gotten involved with them with the family-based case. Zyna continues to do great. Zyna does have a speech impediment, speech delay, so we are making a referral to Green Apple Therapy. I need to follow up on that. I don't think they've heard back from that, so I'll follow up on that this week. But she's doing great where she's at. She is currently with her siblings, so she is with Zach's older children and their mother and her husband, and she's doing great. There has been some issues between the parents. They're going through some marital stuff. And there's been some back and forth about where Zina should be. And one thing I've talked to Jessica about and Zach about is that they both need to focus on doing what they need to do for themselves and let Zina don't disrupt her normal. She's with her siblings. She's with Shyla Rutledge and Kevin Job, and she actually calls Shyla Mama S and then Jessica Mama J. So she identifies, she has a really close relationship. And sometimes Jessica gets really worked up about where she's at because she wants more time with her. And I'm explaining to her that we can't move Zina off of emotion because you feel like this is going this way. We got to do what's best for Zina, and disturbing her and breaking her away from her sibling group and what she knows is normal. Because this is something they put her in that placement even before we got involved. Well, when we got involved, they voluntarily put her there. So there's no safety plan. It's just a verbal agreement that the parents would leave her there while they continue to work services and would not move her until, that is something discussed within the courts and, everything's fine. So I think if we can make sure we clarify that with the parents, that she stays in that placement with where she's comfortable and we're not moving her based off of emotion or how, because of their disruptions in their marriage, but.
Let me just ask, Mr. Ms. Rutledge, nobody's asking for y'all to make any commitment about any of this today, but I understand. So if you all do end up separating, splitting up, and you think that divorce is what's going to happen, it may be that we could wrap in some co-parenting class for you all. Because if you are going to split and Zina's going to have two homes, then there are some things that you all might really benefit from as far as a co-parenting class. Children who are, have parents who divorce, they basically will thrive as well as the parents do. And so you all might as well start trying to figure out how you're going to get along versus how you're not getting along. And, don't let this become, a contest over the child. Parents work things out by agreement all the time in divorces. And I hope that will be true for you all as well. This court has no jurisdiction over any of that, so I'm not going to be the one making decisions about custody or your divorce or anything. All I can do is try to provide to you maybe a really valuable tool moving forward. And then, if you end up not divorcing and you end up, if you work it out and you end up back together, co-parenting still exists even when you're in the same household, so honestly, there's probably something there to be learned regardless of how your marriage situation turns out. So I do think it might be a good idea to look into that. It may be a little too early, but just for what it's worth, I think it might be beneficial. So you guys start learning some skills from the get-go before you start making mistakes. Because it's just really easy to do when you're in the midst of a divorce. And, maybe we can help you guys not make some of those mistakes. So, all right, Ms. Archer.
I'm just really proud of Jessica for doing everything she needs to do, and I don't really have anything further to report than what Ms. Sledge did.
Okay. Mr. Barfield.
Zachary, I know I'm filling in for your current attorney Tate Eldridge. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns at this particular point as to how things are going, or do you have any information you think the court needs to be made aware?
No, sir.
Okay, so you feel comfortable in working your services and moving forward, correct?
I've actually begun to enjoy the services.
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you. Hey, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead, Judge.
Okay, good idea. No, I mean, that is good to hear. And all of the things that, we're asking of you guys to do, whether you stay together or whether you divorce, it's good. It's really good information, and those are good resources to fall back on. So, I hope that all of this transition, whatever that ends up being, will be smooth for you. Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, I got to visit with Zina in the home she's living in now. She is precious. One thing that I was going to follow up on is Katrina's already hit on is just making sure that green apple therapy referral goes through, because it does seem like she needs some speech issues. She does seem very comfortable there. I'm really impressed with parents and extended family all working together in terms of what's in Zina's best interest. It's a hard thing to do, but she does appear to be very comfortable there. She does, she's got a lot of room in her heart for lots of different people that she can love and be a support system for her. So it looks like parents are doing what they need to. It looks like everybody in Zina's life is kind of coming together to make sure she's okay. And I really hope that continues. I know that can be difficult, but y'all should be commended for all of that.
Okay. So today what we're going to do is I'm just going to continue your all services, and y'all just keep working through it. Be mindful that everything you do every day, all day long, needs to be in the best interest of your child. So I will see you back for another review hearing on May 6th of 2025. That's on a 9:00 docket. That's a little before your dismissal date, so it's kind of checking in to see, how we're doing. If y'all get everything wrapped up and everybody thinks things are going well, I mean, we may dismiss before May 6th, but that is just our next hearing date in case we need it. So I wish you both continued good luck, and I'll see you then, and unless everything's done. All right. Thank you so much.
Completed,
Thank you.
or you just had her signature?
I have Miss Naranjo's signature for her client, but my
Okay.
understanding is I didn't get Mr. Little, so.
Okay, he's logged in, so we'll check in with him. Okay, Mr. Little, can you unmute your device for me?
Is that better?
Yes, sir. Okay. What I'm understanding is that Ms. Little has agreed to work these services that are being asked of her. And of course, the department was asking that you would participate in those as well. You are not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer as a non-parent. So, but you can be required to participate if you're living in the household. Do you want to speak with the department's attorney real quick to see if y'all, if you're in agreement or not, or you can just tell me for that matter?
Well, I'm not opposed to any of the stipulations. I just don't understand how I mean, you just made it clear because I'm living in the home, but I feel like her back was kind of against the wall and she agreed to all of this. And I don't know it's quite a bit of stuff based off of allegations and police reports. No arrests. One of the allegations made was from Trisha Zepp, who it's retaliation. It's being vindictive, and it's just trying to hurt us because she knows that we've had some problems, and she ended up stealing a bunch of money from us. And
Okay, and those are kind of facts of the case that really I really shouldn't discuss with you. It's just a question of whether or not you're willing to work some of these services since you're living in the household with the children.
Right. I understand that. I would actually like to speak to an attorney. I'm not trying to make anybody's day harder or make any of this harder, but it's just quite a bit of stuff, and we both work, and there's no babysitter, and I just kind of I'm a little uncomfortable with it because I know that this is just allegations from somebody else that is upset with us.
Well, you don't have an attorney in this proceeding. You can certainly, you can retain your own attorney. I'm happy to, I can put you in a breakout room where you can discuss this with Mr. Groff, who is the department's attorney, but he's not your attorney. So he's not going to be giving you legal advice. He can just tell you why they're requesting you to do these things, what they're requesting you to do. And, and so, if you want me to do that, I will.
Well, based on this packet, this court order packet, it's very thick, and I just don't want to agree to something that is maybe beyond our reach at this time because it's a whole bunch of stuff. And my thing is agreeing to it. And I understand where you're coming from. It's just somebody else saying something is really the meat of the whole investigation, because there's been other investigations that were investigated by CPS, and they were found that there was no neglect, everything was good, and we've already gone through 3 of them. And that's kind of why initially when this one started, we were a little upset about it, because it's like we can't catch a break, and
well, okay, and again, those go to facts in the case. And so it's if you're telling me that you don't want to work the services, then the department can then determine what they're going to do from there. Mr. Groff, I suppose, he can be dismissed from the case, but ultimately, if we have further problems and you're living in the home, that that could also affect what happens with this case and could affect Ms. Little. If we have let's just say we have a repeat of what's been alleged to have happened, then all of a sudden the department may be looking at taking this to a whole second level, which is to actually legally remove the children for their safety. So all I'm saying is you can refuse the participation and we'll work with mom. But if you're going to stay in the home, it can ultimately affect things.
Okay.
So Ms. Little, you're free to go ahead and speak. Go ahead. You'll have to unmute your device.
Thank you. My thing was that I had agreed to do services as long as it was through Zoom, just because of the fact that we don't have a babysitter and we both work. I work Monday through Friday. And as soon as I get off work, I have to rush to go get my children from school. And another thing I was kind of concerned about was, it is quite a bit of stuff. And like I said, I'm willing to comply with any services that y'all are recommending me to do. But I have done, BIP and things like that. And so I really didn't feel like I benefited from those classes, or not BIP, but the WAVE program and stuff like that. And I would like to benefit from things if I'm going to do them. So what I really feel like I could benefit from is maybe parenting classes, therapy, of course, not just for myself, but for my children. But I don't feel like I would benefit from those classes that I have already taken.
Okay. Well, Mr. Groff, what is the department at? And this is getting problematic because your attorney isn't present.
Yeah.
So
Judge, I'm sorry. I would also gladly participate in parenting and counseling.
Your
And I
Honor,
think that those
let me have Mr. Groff tell me what the department, exactly what the department's requesting.
Thank you.
So the specific list is to maintain housing, parenting classes, rational behavior therapy, psychosocial assessment, domestic violence services, and counseling. Now, what I just would say to the parents is most of the work with a lot of this stuff is at the front end, just doing the assessment. The department will work around their work schedule. And once the assessments are done, some of these services can be consolidated into one service. Counseling, for example, oftentimes can address. We just had a prior case before this one where the service is essentially bundled. So it looks like a lot on paper, but in actuality, it won't necessarily need to be all that. And if they've done services already, I think the department's concerned when the department makes a recommendation for a service. If it's a service a parent has already completed, but then there's a reoccurrence of behaviors that indicate that additional education or counseling is necessary, then they'll make that recommendation. So I would just say to the parents that while it may look like a lot on paper, at the end of the day, it may not be all that. And we certainly would be willing to work around their schedule to, we're not asking for removal at this point in time. We understand that they've got to parent these kiddos and work in the meantime. And so the fact that the mom has agreed and they were willing to accommodate some online services, I know that the department would be willing to do the same for dad. So I don't know if that changes his position at all, but I just would make that assurance to him that we would work with her the same way we're working with mom.
And there's just one more concern that I have is getting the kids in counseling. I don't think that would be a bad thing. However, if they're going to counseling and they're being asked questions about maybe things that has happened between mother and I, which they're not in it, it's when me and her have a situation, it's me and her, and that's what's being alleged in this, that the kid, they spoke to two of the children and they said, they don't see us fight, but the youngest, you can ask her a question and she'll give you a whole, she's very creative. Her mind, like she's a storyteller. So she just goes and she'll just take you on this tangent and this story, and it's okay. That's just her personality. But I don't want these girls, because I am their stepfather, but I am their father. I'm the only thing that they've known as far as a male figure. And I don't want to put them in a position that I was in when I was young, where I was being counseled on things that I didn't know was going on. And then years and years later, I had to look back and think like, wow, now if they're in counseling and it's going to help them, mature and to grow and to open up, that's fine. But just to counsel them and, what's going on with mom, what's going on with dad, what's going, and I don't want to,
Well,
I don't want to harm their mentality.
I understand, Mr. Little, and counselors are not forensic interviewers. That's not how they approach things with children. If we had an allegation that something had happened to one of the children, direct, physical abuse or direct sexual abuse or something like that, we would be having these children forensically interviewed by people who are experts at doing that. That's not what's happening here. And, we're just suggesting that the counseling for the kids might help them kind of, work through, some of the things that they may or may not have seen or heard. It's remarkable sometimes what you find out that children have seen and or heard, and you didn't think they were anywhere, around. But that's not how counselors approach it. So, they may approach it, do they feel safe in the home? And, but it's open-ended kind of things. They're not going to suggest anything to the children. So,
And the other thing, Judge, if I may, I would like to just add is that with this type of case, it goes over to an FBSS worker. They'll be able to meet with that worker going forward. Mother has an attorney. Mother's attorney will be able to have input into the case plan as it moves forward, and adjustments certainly can and often are made as a case moves forward, because the idea is it's less adversarial and it's more collaborative, working with the parents as the case goes forward. So some of Mr. Little's concerns may be alleviated through that process.
And I would agree with what Mr. Groff just said. So Mr. Little, I just, you know, we can, you know, if you are willing to try all this on for size, you can agree to do it today. If you feel like then you know, it's not working for you and you've got a problem with it, you know, these things are, you know, it's voluntary for you to do this. I mean, yeah, there'll be a court order, but you can be dismissed out of the suit at a later date if you choose not to cooperate with it.
Well,
So-
I'm willing. I am not opposed to it. She and I, I'm gonna be honest with you. She and I, we both come from traumatic lifestyles, and you know, we've allowed a lot of the things that we've gone through to kind of maybe just harm. So my family is the most important thing in this world to me. And I hate that we're going through this because I think a lot of it is my fault because as a man, I've probably made some poor decisions, but as a mother, this woman is amazing. And I just hate that she's having to go through this.
Well, it's, you know, if you are going to remain together as a couple and are going to parent these children, you know, all we're really wanting to do is just try to give you guys some help and maybe give you some skills, you know, and mechanisms to deal with things differently. And you know, that's what this is all about. Mr. Groff said it. It's a collaborative process. This is, you know, I mean, the great deal of this is just based on your all's willingness to learn and to try to do things a little differently. You know, and head off problems before they become a really big problem. So, you know, that's what it's all about. He's correct. We can do a lot of this kind of one-stop shopping with the counselor. Everybody will try to work with you all. I'm just at the point I've got to know, yes, you are in agreement or no, you're not. And we have to kind of move from there.
Okay, I understand, Judge. Yes, anything that's going to benefit us as a family and me as, you know, a father and her as a mother, then I will do anything that I have to do.
Okay. We know a lot more about trauma and how that affects people and how it can be a residual issue, how it can bleed over into how you raise your children. I mean, honestly, we have learned a whole lot about that in the last 20 years. And, you know, probably really in the last 10, especially. And, you know, counselors have a lot different approach about those kind of things than maybe what they used to have. So, you know, if you're willing to do this, then we'll get the order done and signed. We'll get you guys set up to start, you know, getting these assessments done. And then, you know, we'll have another hearing February 6th to see how everything's going. And if you're having a problem with something, that's the time for you to tell me about it.
Yes, ma'am.
So is that you are willing?
I am willing.
Okay. All right, then, Mr. Groff, then I will sign an order to participate covering the services that you've outlined. And we can get started with the family. And as always, we want to be respectful of their obligations to their jobs and to the kids. And I think everybody will do that. So, Mr. and Ms. Little, it's also very important for you to know who another person is. Ms. Zavala, Stacy Zavala, is the children's attorney. Under Texas law, the children are entitled to have what they call an attorney and guardian ad litem. She is the person who is here to just make sure that the kids' best interests are being looked after. She will need to see the children from time to time and visit with them. And you all need to be sure that you return her phone calls or her staff. Her assistant's first name is Kelly. So you could get a call from either one of them. But I wanted you to know who she is.
Okay.
Okay. All right, then we'll get everything rolling, and I will see you all back on February 6th. That'll be on a 9:00 docket, and Ms. Little's attorney will tell you what time you need to log in. It might be right at 9, but it could be at 10:15. You know, it'll be sometime that morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I appreciate your all's cooperation very much, and Mr. Little, you will have to sign off on an order. So
Mr. Little, would it be easier for Ms. Evans to meet with you to get your autograph on that order? Would you like us to mail it to you? What's easier for you?
Can I do it electronically on email?
Sir?
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm sorry, if you would please put your email in the chat feature, I can send it to you via email.
Okay, I don't know how. Oh, there's everybody. Okay.
There's a little thing down there called chat. If you can figure out how to work it. If not, Ms. Ruiz, would you put your email in the chat and maybe he can see that? And
yes, ma'am, I will.
Then Mr. Little, if you'll make note of her email, you can just send a message back to her, reply to her. And then she'll have the way to contact you.
Okay. I just don't see anywhere for a chat.
Something may pop up on your screen here in just a second.
Not yet.
Okay. Ms. Reeves, have you sent that to him?
I have, ma'am. Maybe Miss Little can access it since she knows how to use the chat feature.
Okay. Mr. Groff, is Malia Evans the worker?
She is, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'll bring her in. So, and who else did you have here for this?
I think I'm not sure that Mel, I forget her last name. I'm sorry.
Mel Tucker.
Mel Tucker. That's right.
Okay. I'll bring her in and just tell them that we've got an agreement and
contact.
And I had just emailed her, but we had kind of a lengthy, obviously pre-docket meeting with the dad. So.
Okay. Were you all able to get her email?
No, sorry.
I'll tell you what, Ms. Evans is logged in now. Ms. Evans?
I think that she can do it on her phone. Can she just send you my email on her chat?
Sure.
Okay.
I think Ms. Evans has she told me yesterday she had gotten an email address for dad.
Okay.
Mail.com.
That's it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll get that order to you, Mr. Little. Ms. Evans, they've reached an agreement, so we're good. We're gonna just get Mr. Little to sign the order, and then we'll get everything going.
I think her audio is off.
Yeah.
Thank
she
you.
obviously can hear us though. So
Great.
All
Thank
right,
you.
then I appreciate everybody and good luck to y'all, and I'll see you February 6th.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is my last matter. I'll sign off now with your permission.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. All right, then. We're here for our compliance hearing, and we are conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming, and I'm recording to the Zoom cloud. So if anybody needs a copy, let us know. All right. Then let's see. Ms. Smith, I think you're going to give us the update this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Things are going well. It's going slow right now because I did get this case a little bit before the holidays. So Kaylee is working on getting some services set up still. She has began a couple of services as well as the girls. Kaylee and all three girls started their individual counseling. They've started that, and that's going to be really good. Kaylee is really excited about that for her and for the girls. Kaylee is also going to be starting her parenting class this week. And due to some scheduling conflicts, we are going to integrate domestic violence into the parenting class with her because she doesn't have anybody to watch the girls at night. so it would be a conflict for her to go to the domestic violence support group. So we arranged it to where she could do some domestic violence education in with the parenting.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Okay. She is going to work on within the next couple of weeks. She's going to work on getting the other class set up, which is doing an assessment with the wave class. And that is what's going on with Miss Kaylee. Travis is in Potter County Jail. He has been there since my case began. I have visited with him, and I'm going to get him some workbooks to work on. He did state that he is doing a class in the jail called Houses of Healing. I did get a contact number for the person who is conducting that class, and I will get in touch with them to see what that is all about and what he's doing in there. As far as how long he's going to be there or any of that, he had not seen the judge, so that is unclear right now. The girls are doing fantastic. They are thriving. They do great in school. They make good grades. They don't have any behavioral issues. They do wonderful at home. Kaylee has them on a good routine. They come home, they do chores, they do their homework, and they're really good. They mind, and they just really have a good home network, and I think she's doing really well right now.
Okay, great. All right, sounds good. Then, Ms. Naranjo, anything to add or any questions today?
Ms. Smith, just to clarify, so Ms. Little will not be having to do the domestic violence support group?
We are going to integrate domestic violence education in with her parenting, just so she will still get the gist of domestic violence education, and she'll still be educated on the pros and cons and the healthy and unhealthy and relationships and all of that, the good information on that. But because of her schedules, she doesn't have anybody to watch the girls at night for her to go to that class. So that's why we were able to get something else in place for her.
Okay, will she have to participate in WAVE still?
She is going to complete an assessment, and she has to do that assessment and see if she qualifies for the program or not.
Okay. Judge, when I had spoke with Miss Little, her only issue was about doing the domestic violence programs in a group setting. She would prefer to address that situation individually with her counselor. She thinks that that would be more helpful to her than in a group setting.
Okay, so the parenting is more of a group setting.
No, we're actually doing my HST, Shalita Tolson does individual parenting classes where she goes to the home and meets with the parent, and she has a parenting regimen that she works with the parents on, and she does that individual with the parents, and that's mainly for parents that are unable to go to a program or that don't have the time or the scheduling to do that. So
Right.
we offer that to those parents.
So Ms. Naranjo, are you, do you think that will work okay? Or, and she's clearly free to discuss any of that with her therapist, obviously.
I think that would be fine, Judge. I think her concern was based on whatever happened with the wave assessment. If they recommended more of a group setting, that's just something she's not really comfortable with. She says she's done a group setting before and feels that an individual setting would be more beneficial to her.
Okay. Well, let's let her do the assessment. I mean, they may decide that she doesn't qualify or maybe doesn't need to do it, but, I'm just trying to recall. I mean, wave usually would come into play, if mom had been an aggressor.
Correct.
And so, I think it's just a question of let them do the intake and see if they think she really qualifies for that. And I think she can clearly tell them that this is being addressed individually with her as well. Okay. Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, I got to meet with the girls at school. They had great things to say about school and mom. I did want to double check on Azalea. There was a reference in the report to autism. Has she been tested? Are there any accommodations in place for her? Just wanted to follow up on that.
She had seen Dr. Wong 2 years ago. Well, she's seen her when she was 1, but she was too young to be diagnosed. We knew something. We just couldn't put, our finger on it. And then 2 years ago in 2023, they went ahead and diagnosed her with autism, but she doesn't need medication. She's not in any special classes. She's very functioning. I mean, I don't know if she actually talked to you. She kind of shuts down when she meets new people. But she's a straight A student, behaviors well.
She was great. She did not speak with me. She sat in the room as we all talked. But that was my one question is there anything we need to put in place to help her with that? I had read that in the reports, and so I don't know if that's something that Bobby, I know they're going to be or have started therapy with Bobby Brito, and so I just wanted to be on the lookout is there anything we can assist mom with in terms of services for her? But she's precious. She did not speak to me directly though. Yeah.
Well, and I'm assuming school is probably on top of that as well. And if issues start to surface that she needs some additional or some different kind of assistance at school, I'm guessing they'll be on top of that. So if she's doing fine right now, then maybe we don't need to fix anything. I don't know. But we're there to help if something comes up. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and continue the services and find that Miss Little is in compliance with what we've requested of her. And we will have another compliance hearing on May 6th of 2025. That's on a 9 o'clock docket. Our dismissal date again is June 14th. So we'll check in May and see how everything's going and see if we're ready to be dismissed and let Miss Little and kids move forward. Okay. Appreciate y'all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Judge.
This is a compliance hearing, and if I could have announcements, please.
Good morning, Your Honor, Counsel Eugene Graff and Erica Smith on behalf of the department, present, ready to proceed.
Thank you.
Ken Aranco on behalf of the mother, Kaylee Little. I'm present, Your Honor. We did send notification to Miss Little of this hearing, but I have not heard if she's going to be here this morning.
Okay, thank you.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the kids, and I do have a confession to make. I visited with them last night and then had several visits afterwards. She had said she did not have the link, and I did not pass that message along to anybody, and just now realized I hadn't done that.
Judge, I'm letting Miss Little in now.
Okay.
Good. Got it from someone.
Great.
Apparently I misspoke when I said everyone was here. I apologize.
Thank you. Welcome, Miss Little. Mr. Graff, you may begin now.
Thank you. And if I could have Ms. Smith give the court an update as to the mother's compliance and progress with services.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Good morning. So there has been very little compliance with the department. As far as what has been done, Miss Little was asked to do a drug test on, I'm so sorry. She was asked to do a drug screen in March, and she did comply with that, and it was negative. She did do a intake screen assessment for the WAVE program. She did not qualify for that program. But other than that, she has not complied with anything. She and the girls both began individual counseling, but due to too many no-call, no-shows, they were discharged from that program, and there hasn't been anything else done. I have been unable to meet with Miss Little. I have been unable to see the kids. And the last time I saw the girls was on March 17th. I have not been able to, whenever I ask Miss Little to see her or meet with her or see the girls, there's always a reason why she cannot see me or meet me, or one reason or another. The last time we were going to meet, I did not come to her house at the time that she wanted me to, and she left before I got there.
Okay. And the WAVE program, did I read in the court report the reason for that was because she herself was not a perpetrator?
She was not the perpetrator. She was not the perpetrator.
But there was an incident of domestic violence that resulted in the arrest of her partner, who's the stepfather of the children, after the initial 14-day hearing. Is that right?
Correct.
Are there any concerns about ongoing contact or an ongoing relationship with the stepfather?
Miss Little did tell me that she was seeing him at the jail, and that when the girls asked to see him, that she would take them to see him.
Okay. And as a result of the, I guess I'll call it spotty compliance at this point, do you believe services continue to be necessary to protect the safety and welfare of the children?
I believe, due to the history with Miss Little, that services are good for, due to the safety of the children. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Pass the witness.
Ms. Naranjo, you have any questions?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Smith, the reason that the department got involved was mainly due to the concerns of domestic violence between Miss Little and her husband, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Little, her husband, is currently incarcerated with no current release date. Is that correct?
Correct.
So that pretty much addresses any potential for domestic violence by him being incarcerated, right?
With him, yes.
I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Zavala?
Ms. Smith, WAVE, to my understanding, has always been for the offenders. Is there a reason why she was sent there and not to a domestic violence support group?
She was asked to do both. She was uncomfortable doing the domestic violence support group, so we made a compromise, and I told her that because our human services technician is able to do domestic violence material as well as parenting material, I told her that we could combine that, and she could do that with my human service technician. But she didn't follow through with that service, so none of that was done. But she was referred to both of those programs.
Okay, so the problem with the program with the HST, that would be in her home on her schedule?
Yes.
Okay, but it just has never materialized.
Right. She did set, I believe there was 3 different appointments set up and none of them were followed through with.
I pass the witness.
Anything out further for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Graff, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Naranjo, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Zavala, any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
Let me ask you, Ms. Zavala, as the attorney ad litem, the child that was allegedly physically assaulted how old is that child?
And I apologize, I don't have all of my notes in front of me. I believe that was Azalea. Is that correct? Is she 8? I'm sorry, Miss Little's talking, but I can't hear.
Sorry, I was muted. I'm sorry. None of my kids were assaulted and none of my kids were present for any of the altercations. They were all on me. So I'm not sure where that's coming from.
Okay. Well, I'm just going by what I sort of glanced at. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, none of my kids were present, but since there was history of the domestic violence, that's why CPS got involved, but the kids were not removed from my care.
And Miss Little, while I have you off and mute, have you applied for a protective order?
There was a protective order in place the night that he got incarcerated.
Okay. Is that protective order still in place?
I don't believe so, but they offered him 10 years. So he's looking at like a long time.
Okay.
And if he goes to court, if he takes it to trial and he doesn't sign for the 10 years, then they can max it out from 25 to 99.
I'm going to assume he has some previous history, criminal history.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, he was enhanced.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Mrs. Vala.
Your Honor, I was able to visit with Mom and the girls at home. The home looked appropriate. The girls looked great. Azalea, who's the oldest, is very, very shy. The first time I met with her, she would not speak with me. She actually seemed pretty comfy and was able to talk. And they had just gotten home from school and were working on homework. They all looked really good. So in terms of my interaction with the girls, it went very well. Mom was very cooperative with me. So I didn't have any concerns that came up in that visit.
Thank you. My notes from Judge Baker basically asked, why does this case need to stay open? So to you as the ad litem, what is your stance on that?
I do worry about the history of domestic violence. However, as Ms. Little said, I think Mr. Little will not be in the picture for a good long time. So as of right now, the girls seemed good. They seemed safe. They seemed comfortable. The home seemed appropriate. Mom was cooperative. I think I'd be fine at this point. Releasing.
Okay. So, Ms. Little, let me ask you, are you familiar with all of the resources that you could go to and turn to concerning the domestic violence? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you understand that probably what they want to do is make sure, as I always said, that your picker's not broken and you don't walk into another situation like that. So do you feel comfortable with that you are going to be more guarded in your choices of partners?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Narhando, I'll never say your name right, I'm sorry. Is your stance on this that this case, basically there's not much else that the department can do for your client?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Anybody just got a burning desire to stay in this case? I think they've got enough going on with having to adjust to a stepfather being removed from them. I assume, Ms. Little, that you're going to, I would hope, talk to a divorce lawyer. Have you have you talked about that?
Yes, ma'am. I've actually spoken with my attorneys here through CPS, and they gave me some insight on it that I can do it myself. It's just the matter of getting kids and trying to make it to the library before everything closes. I'm a busy mom with 3 kids.
Okay.
And working.
But thank you. But you are looking into it.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. All right then. Anything else before we close? Okay, Mr. Graff, have you got a stance on this, or are you all right if we dismiss this case today?
I'll defer to my client, Your Honor. My hope for this mom going forward, we do see in cases like this, sometimes there's a series of abusive relationships. So I certainly would hope, I know she's busy, but I hope that she would avail herself of resources to avoid this kind of relationship in the future, particularly if she follows through with the divorce. These kids don't, I know she's indicated these kids weren't exposed to this, but it's not good for her to be in a domestic violence relationship either. So I would just urge her, if the court is to dismiss, that she follow through with those resources. There may be some blind spots she's not aware of.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anybody else have anything they'd like to say? Okay. Then I'm going to follow the hint from Judge Baker and dismiss this case. Ms. Little, please be aware that if somehow he bonds out and he comes to your house and you let him in the door, CPS will be knocking on your door again, I would imagine. So please be aware of that. It doesn't sound like he's going to bond out. So just be careful.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I was just going to ask you if you could just make it aware that I will need to see Miss Little and the kids one more time to close the case.
Miss Little, she does need to do that. That's policy. So please allow her into your home. Y'all figure it out. In fact, why don't y'all just talk about this when everybody, if Rachel, can you put them in the room and let them set up a meeting for that so we can get that all done today?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so y'all please do that. Miss Little, if you'll cooperate with that, then this case will be dismissed.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank y'all very much. We'll go off the record.
On our status
Thank you, Your
hearing, we're conducting this through Zoom. We are live streaming, and I'm recording to the Zoom cloud today as I don't have a court reporter. So if anyone needs a copy, let us know and we'll make it available to you. All right, then we'll take announcements.
Good morning, Judge Gene Graff and Jaleesa Bird on behalf of St. Francis, present and ready to proceed.
Brooks Barfield for mom, Krista McGuire. She is not present. However, I'm ready to proceed in her absence.
Casey Zavala on the behalf of the children.
Okay. What do we have new, or have we gotten to review service plans with mom and dad, or where do we stand?
No, I have not. I have called parents. I went to their previous address. I did get in touch with Krista McGuire on July 31st. We scheduled to meet February 3rd, this Monday. She provided 2 addresses that she would potentially be at. I did go to both addresses. I did speak with her grandmother. I I also spoke with Ms. McGuire's probation officer. She is supposed to be going to ISF. It was supposed to be February 4th, but I have not had an update on whether she turned herself in for that or if she still basically didn't turn herself in. And then Mr. McGuire, I've just continued to call the cell phone that I was provided. And I did stop at the home last week. So I'll make sure to just continue stopping by to get in touch with him as well.
Okay. Well, if she did turn herself in, then that might explain why she isn't here today. If she didn't turn herself in, that also might explain why she's not here today. All right, Mr. Barfield, anything to add today?
No, I have nothing to report. I do have a question. Who is her probation officer, if you know, Miss Burr?
Yes, his name is Andrew D. Hart.
Could you
and I can provide. Oh,
if you just want to email me, do you mind sending me an email because I want to contact probation to see if she's in compliance or whether they're going to file a report of violation, and that'll answer a lot of questions for me and and maybe help me try to contact her somehow.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I just pulled up the jail roster. She is showing as being in the roster as of the 2/6, which is this morning's roster.
And Judge, based just kind of on my other experience, I bet based on what I read in the reports, and that she's either waiting for a bed in ISF or they filed a revocation, and I'll follow up with that and figure that out.
She in Potter or Randall?
Potter.
This is Potter.
Okay, Potter.
And it does look like she turned herself in on the 4th, according to the date on the roster.
Okay, so maybe I'll contact her now that I know she's in Potter County and see if she's waiting to go to ISF or something else.
Okay, sounds good.
You bet.
All right. Okay, then. I don't have Mr. Taylor in, so I can't see if he's got any questions, but Ms. Zavala?
Your Honor, I've been able to Zoom with all 4 of the kids. Currently, the boys are together and the girls are in a different location. The boys kind of had to be separated a little bit in their placement, but they are still in the same placement. The girls seem to be having some of those same issues, and there's a lot of anger and fighting, and it's my understanding that there has been a discharge notice placed that was just recently done, and there's still a good section of the month for them to be in their current placement. So I did not discuss that with them because I feel like that would trigger behaviors. So they will be told as that gets closer, but we are going to be looking at, I know Ms. Bird's already looking for a new placement for them. They really have lots of needs and some good therapists. So, and they need good therapists. So I'm hopeful that whatever placement we find for them can do that. I am not opposed if placement comes back needing to separate the girls. At this time, they are really feeding off of each other in terms of behavior. Of course, it's always good to keep siblings together if we can. And I know Ms. Bird will be looking at all options. But if the only option at this point is to separate the girls, I'm okay with that, because I think each of the kids needs to get the behavior in check before we can really work with them as a group. All 4 of the kids would like contact with Dad, and all were pretty disappointed that Dad has not been cooperating, that he's not been calling. I had to be pretty honest with them, just say they have not been able to get a hold of him, and they all kind of understood. that his phone may be broken or not working or something like that. But they all really want some contact with dad. The girls especially would really love if they could have a video visit with Chunky Monkey, their dog. Of course, that is dependent on dad stepping up and participating. So that's where we are. I do recommend that their placement continue for the limited time there is left.
So are we looking at it like Emerald Children's Home, Boys and Girls Ranch, down in Lubbock? I mean, something along those lines where we can keep the kids, together, but not together.
That is the goal. I know the boys placement mentioned they have a girls unit. So I did mention that to our placement coordinator. As well, I was informed that we do have a potential therapeutic foster home in Amarillo. So we're kind of exploring all of these options. We have not, I guess, just depending on the placements, we are possibly hoping to keep the girls together, but kind of depending on the placement, that will kind of be decided from there.
Okay.
And the siblings are getting virtual visitations on Fridays. And so it's been reported those sibling visitations are going well.
Yeah, it sounded like it was kind of wild at first, but it's settled down and it's been good for all of them, I think.
Okay. Well, we'll keep that in place regardless, of where we end up. We want to keep that going if it's gotten better, especially. Okay, so service plans have been developed and filed, Ms. Bird?
Yes.
Okay, but not signed by either parent.
Correct. And I will go out to see Ms. McGuire to go over her service plan and hopefully see if she agrees to services and get a signature.
Okay. All right, then for today, I'm going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator. Find there would be a continuing danger to return the children home to either parent at this time. Gonna order the service plans as an order of the court. Have we gotten drug tests on them yet?
No, not at this time.
Did we get any testing done on them at the intake? I mean, when the case first came in?
No, Your Honor, that was one of the bases that we ultimately filed, was that the dad initially had indicated that he would, and then turned around the next day and contacted the caseworker and said he wouldn't.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to order drug testing, hair and UA on both parents at whenever you can contact them, make contact with them and send them. So, that's just something we really need to know, what kind of issue we have, if we have that issue. I know there was a lot of discussion about that in the affidavit for removal and an adversary hearing and all of it. So anyway, we would like to get a baseline on them. All right. We will continue the sibling visits, and I'll continue the children's current placements while we look at what we need to change up. Okay, our next hearing date is the initial permanency hearing on June 3rd of 2025. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. If we've not made any progress at that point, we'll probably be setting an early final in the case. But we'll give them until between now and June to get started and see if we can't turn the ship around. Oh, all right. Thank you all so much. And Mr. Barfield, Mr. Trout has logged in. I brought him in. So if you've got a second, I'll
Sure.
stick you
Yeah,
I'll break that room
absolutely.
with
I
him.
think our next hearing's at
For
11.
Our adversary hearing.
Yeah.
We're conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming, and Ms. Goodman is making our record. All right, we'll take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. We're present ready, Your Honor.
Savannah Kincaid, I represent Miss Bray. We're present and ready.
Jay Michelson on behalf of Christopher Hyatt, the father, he's present and we're ready.
T.D. Hammonds for Braden, ready, Judge.
All right, and Mr. Hammonds, thank you for doing this crossover and serving as his attorney and guardian ad litem.
Yes, happy to.
All right then, Mr. Trout, what do we got going?
Well, and I'm just to make sure, if Mr. Michelson, do we have an agreement or do we need to move forward?
I believe we do have an agreement.
Okay. Your Honor, I believe the parties are in agreement, from my understanding, for the department to take temporary managing conservator of Braden, and to work with him. Parents, will be asked to work services through the case. And then let me check on my, I believe prior, I think mom is ordered to pay child support. I was looking to see where that, if we had that in order, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am. Originally there was, from 2016, an order where mom was paying, was ordered to pay dad child support. We would ask that that still be paid and directed to the department while Braden is in care. And medical support training.
Okay. All right. Is that everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then, Ms. Kincaid, is that what you and your client have agreed to?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Michelson, you and your client have agreed to that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Hammonds, is this also your agreement and you believe it's in the best interest of Braden?
I do, Judge.
Okay. Then I will find that the evidence is sufficient to name the Department of Family and Protective Services as the temporary managing conservator of Braden. We'll expect parents to work some services for us. We'll go through that in greater detail between now and our next hearing. In the interim, I will direct mother's child support and medical support to be redirected to the department. And I'll sign the order when that's presented. So Ms. Bray and Mr. Hyatt, between now and then, these folks are going to visit with you about some of these services. We'll talk more about those at our next hearing. That's going to be on January 2nd of 2025. That'll be on a 9:00 docket. Your attorneys will let you know exactly what time your case will be set. It may not be right at 9. It could be at some other time slot that morning, but it will be on the morning docket. And I appreciate you both appearing today and helping us get Braden some of the help that he needs. So, Mr. Trout, were you able to reach them about placement?
Yes, ma'am. I talked to the prosecutor a while ago. I think once this is done, he's going to go ahead and dismiss their case, but our placement, transport team, I believe, is already out there. Mr. Marino, that's here with us today, he's got to leave and go out there with them for the discharge. But I'm going to call the prosecutor just as soon as I get off this hearing.
Okay, very good. All right, then. Thank you all so very much, and I hope this move goes well for Braden, and I'll see everybody back right after the first of the year.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Alexis and Marcus. And Ms. Spencer.
Appreciate it. Jody, thank you.
Thank you. We'll see y'all next time.
Okay.
Okay.